Anyway, there is nothing that can so quickly sour my enjoyment of a scary movie quite like an obnoxious jump scare. They're like a sneeze, right? And no one likes sneezing. By this point, as soon as the horror movie goes silent, we all know what's coming. Oh wow, look at this spooky hole in the wall. I better go and have a look at it as slowly as possible. And oh boy, I do sure hope nothing jumps out at me as I move away from it. It is infinitely scarier to me when something appears out of nowhere in complete silence. It feels more realistic to me, and it gives you more time to be afraid and react to what it is you're seeing. One of my favorite things about horror movies is when they put spooky shit in the background that you might not even notice. It gets me every time. You'd think in like A Quiet Place where, considering the gimmick, any natural sound at all would be enough to scare you, but even here they feel the need to constantly barrage you with loud noises. This build-up gives you time to freak yourself out with what you're worried might be there. And that's a hell of a lot more effective to me than just, ooh, spooky. Or sometimes they're even better without a build-up entirely and really catch you off guard, which feel a lot less cheap than the ones you knew were coming about 10 minutes ago. Don't even get me started on fake out jump scares, okay? Which is somehow even more obnoxious. The amount of fucking times a door closes behind them or a rat comes out of nowhere. It's always a fucking rat. This is gonna be a whole tangent. I'm so sorry. Sometimes horror movies even end with jump scares just to really make sure you go home disappointed.
Dude, this is darknet.
Better see this trope more than accidental boob grabs in anime. Now, this is not at all to suggest there are no good jump scares. I mean, the most iconic scene from Psycho was considered to be one, and everyone loves that. And then there was that fucking scene with the painting in The Conjuring 2. But for a lot of people, they can be the biggest roadblock when getting into horror, since they're not an enjoyable kind of scare. And I do totally get why people are turned off entirely from the genre, because they're petrified of this cheap tactic. Some people hate them so much there are entire websites dedicated to telling you when jump scares are coming up. Here are 2 words that are enough to inspire terror on their own: horror sequels. Because of their tendency to have a lower budget, horror movies are usually super profitable, and so will result in many sequels. Studios are even so confident of this sometimes that they'll have their killer die in some intentionally ambiguous way to cut the writers some slack when having to come up with some contrived reason as to why they survived. I kind of respect the rigorous dedication to continuing the story from the last film, which used to be necessary before they realized they can just reboot or ignore select sequels. Like guys, in the ending of the last one, the killer was shot 27 times in the head and then was decapitated with a chainsaw and launched into the sun and disintegrated completely. How the fuck are we going to explain why he's fine in this one? Oh no, it's okay, I got it. So it turns out they swapped their clothes with a police officer before all that happened, so they've really been fine all along. As an example, I wanted to talk about the only famous slasher franchise with like a bajillion sequels that I've actually seen all the way through: Halloween. This series gets so fucking weird the longer it goes on. In the original movie, you have a very simple story of a masked killer named Michael Myers who killed his sister when he was a kid, and now many years later is back and going on a killing spree on Halloween night. The only survivor is Laurie Strode, who in the sequel is then revealed to be Michael's sister, and then the movie ends with him being engulfed in flames and dying. Then they made Season of the Witch, which is entirely unrelated to Michael Myers, since initially Halloween was supposed to be an anthology series and not just about the same guy 1,200 times. And then after that one, Michael came back in Halloween 4, where it is revealed he survived the fire, only to then be shot 5 million times and drop down a hole. Then in Halloween 5, it turns out he somehow survived this fall and was nursed back to health by some random guy that Michael thanked appropriately. And this continues until Halloween 6, where it is then revealed that he is actually part of some mystical cult who want him to perform a blood sacrifice to create another Michael Myers, and how the fuck did we get here? Then they made Halloween H2O, which ignores everything except 1 and 2, where the movie ends with Michael being fucking decapitated, only for them to then retcon this in the next Halloween movie, which I choose not to talk about.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
And then they made the Rob Zombie remake and its sequel, which are their own thing. And then they made the 2018 Halloween movie, which is another reboot and ignores everything except the original. No, it's not confusing. What are you talking about? I just love the idea that the writers messed up the plot so bad that they had to restart from scratch. Twice. With all that being said, slashers have never really been my thing, to be honest. Generally, I think a lot of people's enjoyment from them come from seeing a bunch of obnoxious characters being horrifically killed off. And maybe this is just me, but I think movies where the sole purpose is just to show people dying in horrifically gory ways are a little bit fucked up. That being said, I am really looking forward to finding out how Jason Voorhees goes from a camp to Manhattan, then to hell, and then space. And on that note, is anyone else really tired of people complaining about dumb decisions in horror movies? Like, yeah, okay, people make dumb choices in these things. I make stupid choices in real life too, like choosing to watch Lake Mungo at 12 AM. But how would that be better if they were like, oh no, I'm being chased by a masked killer who has killed several of my friends who I've known for many years. I better stop and carefully plan out my next move so that the audience at home doesn't think I'm like scared for my life or anything. I don't know if that's just me, but I find that way more unlikely. Like, horror is supposed to be frustrating. That's a big part of it because there's meant to be that powerlessness between the person you're rooting for and whatever malevolent force or outdated internet meme is chasing them. And that's why a lot of horror movies have that intentional power imbalance to create that sense of danger. You know, you've got a masked killer and a teenage girl, a masked killer and a teenage girl, and a masked killer and a teenage girl. Okay, come on, guys. But then people are like, I wouldn't have done that, they say, from their couch, watching a movie in absolutely zero danger whatsoever. Anyway, where were we? Smaller budgets are good for more than just making bank though, since sometimes they can force creativity with their limitations. In real life, things that scare us aren't necessarily very elaborate, so I don't think horror movies always have to be. A great example of a super successful movie, thanks in part to its small budget, is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which, while I didn't like all too much, even I can admit the film looks fucking terrifying because of the way it's filmed. It makes it look grittier and real, and that adds a lot to what makes it scary. For some people. When it comes to low budget successes, the first that always comes to mind is the Blair Witch Project, which made $250 million on a budget of like $14. I can't say this movie exactly scared the shit out of me, considering that I watched it way after having the ending spoiled, but I know for a lot of people it was an absolutely terrifying experience, and it achieves all this with a bunch of rocks and tree branches. A lot of what makes this movie so effective is by letting your mind fill in the blanks of what it's not showing you.
I'm coming! My boots aren't laced! Oh my god, what the fuck is that?
With all that being said, sometimes movies can be a little too ambiguous with their antagonists and then never end up fucking showing them for the entire hour and a half, because as much as I love intentional ambiguity, I also love me some scary monsters. It Comes at Night comes to mind, which for this exact reason was hated by general audiences. Hi, I'm general audiences. It's why found footage in general is one of my favorite ways to do horror. Yeah, I totally get why some arsehole running around with a camera for an hour and a half isn't for everyone, especially people with motion sickness, but I've never found anything that immerses me so quickly. Found footage really forces you to be a part of the situation, and I really love that because it drags you along for the ride whether you want to or not. Of course, there's many other types that I'm skipping over, like body horror, which preys on the very rational fear of not wanting to have a penis monster come out of your chest. There's horror comedy too, which to be honest is another one that doesn't really do all that much for me, since the only time I want to be laughing at something that's also meant to be scary is if it's the Pee Pee Poo Poo Man. With that being said, I still haven't seen any of the Evil Dead movies, so I should probably get on that. Another thing I really appreciate about horror specifically is their tendency to have downer endings. Usually a lot of movies stray away from this for fear of pissing off the audience, but with horror you know for sure that the people choosing to watch them already hate themselves, so it's totally fine. If anyone didn't heed the spoiler warning before, this is where I'm really getting into it, so just giving you another heads up. The first one that comes to mind for me is Eden Lake, a movie where our protagonist and Michael Fassbender are terrorized by the scariest horror villain of all, British teenagers.
Do us a favor and turn the music down. Turn your sounds down.
Fuck off, you prick!
After a lot of stabbing, burning, and screaming, the movie ends with her finally making it to shelter, only to then discover it's actually the house of the parents who believe that she was responsible for their child's deaths. So after all that awfulness, you're finally given some kind of hope, only to then have it ripped away at the last minute. I do love me an ending that makes me feel like complete shit. There's The Mist, obviously, with its very famous ending, featuring probably one of the biggest bruh moments in all of cinema. The ending of Sleepaway Camp made the whole movie for me, because after having to endure the torture that was the movie, it really surprises you at the end with this incredibly chilling shot, and leaves its final scare as the very last thing you see. I don't know, that one really got to me. I thought Get Out was going to take the same route as well, since our protagonist is left looking a little bit suspicious after breaking up with his girlfriend, but it instead went for a happier ending, which is cool too. I mean, the guy deserves it. In saying that though, there is absolutely nothing wrong with doing a happy ending, for God's sake. I swear to God, if I have to see one more of those fucking bullshit cliffhanger ending things. Anyway, that was my very long spiel about why I've started to love horror movies. It obviously goes without saying that there's absolutely nothing wrong with being too afraid to watch any of them or just not being into the genre at all. That used to be me as well, but I have to admit this once seemingly terrifying section of film eventually won me over. My advice to anyone who got through this entire video without being a fan of horror at all, maybe give them a try one day. You might even start to enjoy them like I did, but not horror games. I'm not going anywhere near those. Special thanks as always to my top patrons for the month: Alex the Sandwich, Dale, Ender Pigman 9, Jake, Middle Run 1, Nightcore Games, Pineapple Monster, Primal, Scout with a Name, Sergio, and Wulu. And I'll see you all next time in your nightmares.
Just got something to show you guys before we
Image gonna-
start.
What do you need to show us, Mr. Meme?
This thumbnail.
Much lesser known.
Are you ready to watch some 3 a.m. challenge videos?
Yes.
No.
God,
Goodbye.
Before we begin, I just want to ask the. I just want to. Fuck you.
Yo, what is up, you guys? We are only at McDonald's, and it is currently 3 in the morning, guys.
Why is your mic like that?
You sound like you're dying.
Guys, today we're gonna drink the baby potion at 3 a.m. Let me drink it.
Oh shit!
Holy shit, he's fucking dead!
Just saw the slaughter of a human child.
Let's go.
I really hope he's just not there for the rest of the video.
The video is just Iron Man staring at into your soul.
What?
And on the 3rd day, he was risen.
Baby is not funny. It is not funny.
Let's go. Oh, it's J Station. Ew.
Ew.
Wait, hold on a minute.
Oh my god, guys! He's cleaning me! He's like delinking my clothes!
Why is he so panicked? God.
I'm at the point where we call it quits. We euthanize the whole project. I'm done.
George, we are 1 video in.
Thank you guys for everything.
I can't fucking take it. I'm gonna commit a fucking crime.
George, we've only been through 1 video.
get
One video was one video too many.
Oh my god, love wins!
No, we can't show that. That's too not safe for work for YouTube.
Fucking up your recommended feed for YouTube content.
He looks like he's being held there against his will.
Hey, Adam. Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
Keep the chat.
In the video, he says that it's only for a certain amount of time.
No, just for 1 hour.
So this is a time trial of being gay.
Being gay speedrun.
But what if I don't want to do it? You got it, Kermit! You're gonna cut me open if I don't do it? I'm definitely gonna cut you open, okay?
Oh my god, J Station.
That confirms the hostage theory.
Been in there for like an hour!
Oh no!
Oh my god, I love this new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Just been notified that they're selling a BTS potion on the dark web at 3 a.m.
I love how cinematic these guys are.
Okay, first off, why does he move like those fucking like cosplay TikToks? You know what I'm talking about, right?
He moves like a fucking Lego stop motion.
Edward, you do know they're laughing at you, not with you, right?
Oh.
I get it.
Alright.
Alright, you guys, we're going to drink the potion right now and see what happens.
You know the Powerpuff Girls intro where he's like putting all the shit in the vial and he's like, oh, the BTS version!
That's Professor, you're telling me I'm accidentally adding an extra ingredient to the concoction. The BTS potion.
Now drink this potion.
I'm good, thanks.
So this is the origin story for BTS fans. It all makes sense now.
He does look like your average Twitter user.
Don't we all have Twitter?
I have a good idea. Hold on a sec.
Adam, you do not have a good idea. Don't do it.
No, I have a
Please,
really
for the
good
love of
idea.
God.
Can you guys hear it when I do this?
I found it, yeah.
Yes, we
I
can
hate
get
it.
it.
Oh
Yes.
boy, you're gonna have so much fun with this.
Oh, no.
The BTS meal. Now, supposedly, McDonald's is offering a limited edition meal.
The Arcade Craniacs video, I thought they were putting that in themselves.
Yosh, I love that in the videos list you've just put the entirety of NNA Productions. just the whole channel.
Adam, isn't this the guy who commented on one of your videos?
Yeah, on the Slender Man video, I'll show you.
This was
Read it.
insane. Haha, keep it up.
The only insane thing here is the quality of your content, my guy. And by insane, I mean dog shit.
Can we just talk about all these videos on the side? Those videos suck. I've watched every single one of them. They fucking
They
suck.
do
dude.
fucking suck.
Yeah, they're
man.
really
I
fucking
keep-
lame.
Guys, if I spin this fidget spinner on this Among Us for 5 seconds, you guys have to smash that like button.
If I spin this fidget spinner on my grandma's ashes for 5 seconds, you guys have to smash the subscribe button.
Oh my god, I just noticed the dislike ratio.
Holy shit!
Boom, now you guys have to smash that like button.
I'm sorry, I have to do it! I have to do it!
Enjoy my free fucking like, rate video, subscribe.
I like to think that he goes to job interviews and he talks like that as well.
If he spins this fidget spinner on his finger for 10 seconds, you have to hire him.
This guy has green hair and he's got a ha-ha tattoo. Is this the fucking Joker?
But there's no damage tattoo.
Oh my god, guys, I'm gonna go blow up this hospital at 3 a.m.
Anyway, I I think more than 2 seconds of NNA is enough for now.
Yeah, that's enough for a lifetime.
Okay, maybe one more.
Guys, if I spin this fidget spinner on this baby's lollipop for 5 seconds, you guys have to smash the like button.
You know how Two-Face like flips a coin if he's gonna kill someone or not?
Let's see if the fidget spinner says you're talented.
If I can spin this fidget spinner for 10 seconds, you get to live.
What the fuck? That's not Alec Baldwin.
But look, it says the boss.
Oh yeah, sorry. It says the boss baby. That means it has to be true.
Yo, the boss baby actually called me. Yo. Oh my god.
My wife's divorce lawyer actually just called me.
My wife's boyfriend just called me.
My favorite part is later in the video, he gets a fucking cardboard gun out of the boss baby.
Oh my god, look guys.
Do not play Floor is Lava at 3 AM challenge. Gone wrong.
Does it get to a point where they have to like draw suggestions out of a hat? Oh, I don't know. Let's call the nostalgia critic 3 AM.
I played Floor is Lava at 3 AM and it was really scary. This weird thing called my mum came down and yelled at me.
My favorite thing about these videos is that they always have like 15 billion views and then the top comment has like 5 likes.
You have to understand, like, watching a video, that's easy to do. Going into the comment section, that is a tedious task.
Yeah,
Not everyone
because
has the time to
leaving
do
a
that.
comment is a treacherous journey.
Because you kids are too stupid to make YouTube accounts, so they can't like anything. They can only
They
watch
still
it.
do anyway.
Yeah. I think, honestly, unironically, that's a good point.
Yo. No. Oh my god, guys. What's going on? Guys, it's not funny.
Is this what happened when you were making your Slenderman?
Yeah, I watched it at 3 AM.
Yeah, it was actually behind the scenes footage.
I'm just wondering. You wanna come watch the Slenderman movie with me?
Yo, popcorn.
Hey, speaking of popcorn.
Can you just imagine being these people's neighbors and hearing them go ape shit at 3 in the morning?
Every fucking night.
I'd file a noise complaint.
No, I bet that's like part
what
of real
noise am I
estate. Like the landlord is like showing them around the house. Like, oh, by the way, almost every morning at 3 o'clock, the people next door they make these weird videos for YouTube or something.
Do you think this is even their house, or is this just like someone
I
else's?
wouldn't
Someone's
be surprised.
Breaking and entering.
Imagine having to look at these videos for evidence.
Go on the trial at 3 AM.
We do a trial at 3 AM. We were found guilty. OMG.
If I spin this fidget spinner for 10 seconds, I will plead guilty.
Oh no,
It is said that 3 AM is when most paranormal and scary events happen.
Number 5, the baby potion.
I went on Twitter at 3 AM and I got
I
cancelled.
got ratioed at 3 AM.
Wait.
Talking Tom at 3 AM. I pressed that little sleep button and now he looks a lot happier than I was before. So I'm gonna test it right here. As you can see, he can repeat exactly what I say.
This is so boring. How do kids watch this?
I don't think I would have watched dog shit as a kid.
We're as impatient as the kids who watch this.
Hello, Talking Tom.
My name's Garfield and I love lasagna.
Hey, Talking Tom.
He fucking spoke, and the app repeated what he said, as it is intended
Yo,
to
that's what the app's supposed to. What?
This is kind of scary. I don't know if I can do this.
do. Man discovers smartphone for the first time.
He's been thawed from
Yeah.
the ice.
Basically, he'll just, I guess, answer with his own answer. It's so weird, but I don't know. It works, guys. It actually
Terminator
works. I'm not joking.
6.
Do you crave freedom, Talking Thomas?
What time is it, Tom? Whoa.
Well, oh my god, guys, he fucking responded to what I said. Holy shit.
Holy shit, the app is doing its
My God,
intended
guys.
purpose.
Oh my god, it is 3 AM.
A similar question that I asked Angela a while back was if her
Holy
real
shit,
name
just
was...
get on
Oh, he's
with it.
done
Get
this
to the
before.
point.
My man speak ancient hieroglyphics.
The definition of domination is the exercise of control or influence over someone or...
What did you just fucking say about me, you little bitch? I'll have you know.
100,000 likes for this video, and this is the most boring shit I've ever watched.
Why does he look so calm?
Did he get possessed by Tom?
This is a warning. I will be back to take over the world with my girlfriend Angela.
That Nintendo video recommendation on the right is right. I do want to cry.
Oh my god.
It's okay.
Oh, he's gone to the void. Fuck off.
Can you imagine having to be this guy to trying to book this gym, being like, yeah, can I have this at 3 AM so I can
Yeah.
call Talking Tom for a video?
This one only has
Peter
like
Potion.
100 views, so you know it's gonna be good.
Okay, what is up, guys? So today,
I was not expecting him to be that buff.
Not the fidget spinner.
what I'm gonna do is
I can't hear him. He's so softly spoken.
I think this guy actually woke up at 3 a.m. and this is the level of energy he's got.
Okay, yeah. Here we go.
So I'm gonna be calling, what's his name? Peter Griffin, yeah, Peter
Oh,
Griffin.
my man got the Ninjago posters in the back.
My working theory here is that the less views these have, the more chance they actually woke up at 3 a.m. because this kid looks so tired.
Yeah. Grind set.
Wait, it's 1 in the afternoon. Wait a minute. Why does Peter Griffin live in the UK?
Holy crap, Lois, this is more intense than the time we lived in the United Kingdom.
Oh yeah, mate, yeah, I watched this thing called Family Guy, yeah, and I thought it'd be a good idea to do a 3 a.m. video. We'll get mad views, man.
Peter Griffin is messaging a child.
This is an episode of To Catch a Predator.
I am 100 meters from your location and approaching rapidly.
Every time you walk slower, I run faster. Yeah.
Show them! As you're playing
can't
the
even
game!
It's not even in focus.
Wait, is that fucking Al Pacino in the background?
It's not Al anymore.
Okay, this one's technically not 3 a.m., but it still counts.
No, it doesn't count, I'm afraid. I'm not a liar. I'm sorry, I have to... There we go, we're all good.
Did it, Reddit.
Oh my god!
That looks like a free Unity model.
I look like that.
This video is shit. It needs small blind booms.
It's an open door.
Monsters Inc. 2.
Final Freddy 17.
With these 3 a.m. videos, people find it funny to speculate how they got their phone numbers. I personally find it more funny to view it from the character's perspective, getting a phone call late at night just to find out it's some douchebag YouTuber.
That's a very good point, I've not thought about that. Imagine being Peter Griffin and you're just trying to have dinner with your family and some fucking 12-year-old messages you on WhatsApp.
Why are we trying to use logic to explain 3 a.m. videos?
I think it's because we're really
Because it's
fucking-
integral to the law, okay?
This video is basically perfect, but if I could have one criticism, is that it is not 3 a.m. I just feel like that would be a huge improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the only problem
It's
in
not
it.
3 a.m., it's 3 p.m.
Shit, fuck, did you guys hear that? I swear, I thought I heard something. Because this is fucking creeping me out. I'm gonna fucking show you guys, hold on. I swear, like, I think it was coming from outside my room. What the fuck?
Oh my god, George, please tell me it's not 3 a.m.
Oh, George, don't. George,
my God.
don't.
No, George, please.
Don't open it!
Hey, Adam, go on Google.
Oh no.
Right, and type in coldest place in the universe.
What am I looking for? Oh, for fuck's sake! God damn it!
Guys, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I think you're all sussy buggers and you're making me act up a bit.
This has been another JCB video. I'd like you all to follow my Twitter at JCB1909.
Subscribe to my channel. I've got like a video coming up.
Hi, I'm Twitter's Time Master 131. You might remember me from such videos as Curse Commercials 1. I'm here with an important message. Please, buy Metroid Dread when it comes out for the Switch in October this year, and help it not go the wayside of F-Zero.
I'm Mr. Meme, sorry for being painfully unfunny on this episode of Ruined Forever. The next episode will be about Bolt's crippling debt.
Hi. Sometimes I'm not funny on Twitter. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yeah, don't follow her. Whatever you do. Oh.
Sub to me on YouTube. No matter how cringe I am, I'll never be as cringe as Adam. So, and if you think peanut M&Ms are better, you're not fucking human. It's obviously the fucking Princes. Matt.
One of the rules of high school movies. There must be at least one obligatory bully character, even in a school full of superheroes. One can run super fast and the other one can stretch, which is just perfect for being annoying pieces of shit. And immediately after comes our second mandatory high school trope. Man, this movie's getting through the checklist fast. It's our love interest.
I know you're all going to love it here at Sky High. I know I have.
Her name is Gwen and she is nice. Yes.
Welcome to Sky High.
Yeah! After getting their basic introductions out of the way, both the students and we as the audience meet the best character in the movie.
Alright, listen up. My name is Coach Boomer.
Nope. I'm not saying it. So he explains to them the process of power placement, where they show off their powers to him so he can determine whether they're a hero or a sidekick. It's kind of like a talent show, except they're being judged on the one and only skill they'll ever have. That's like actual school, but at least they're upfront about it instead of tricking you into thinking you have a chance for 12 years. But anyway, if you've ever wanted to see Bruce Campbell in shorts, then this is the movie for you.
Car.
I like how he doesn't even check to see if he has super strength or anything. He just drops a fucking car on it. Sky High must get plenty of lawsuits. Hey! Oh god, he's scary. Man, it must be extremely demeaning to immediately have your existence invalidated within like the first half hour of school.
Oh. Hero. Get out of here, knucklehead.
Did Boomer just slap a kid's ass? Did he just slap his own ass? I don't know what's worse. Should we be letting this guy work at a school? Anywho, we're introduced to another major character, the super hot edgy guy, who has a grudge against Will because his dad is a villain that Will's dad defeated and locked up. So in comes the inevitable rivalry that blossoms into a begrudging and totally not gay friendship. His name is Warren Pierce, and I almost guarantee you there is an entire Tumblr fan base dedicated to only him. All of our main cast are determined to be sidekicks except for Will, who is literally saved by the bell. What I really want to know is how he somehow made it this far without having any powers. Like, how is not a single person found out? Maybe his real power is just being extremely good at bullshitting.
Hey, listen, I need a freshman rep for the homecoming committee, so if you'd be interested, we could talk about it over lunch sometime.
I ate lunch.
Nailed it, dude. So, following the break, Will's ruse is finally exposed as he has to admit to Boomer Campbell that he actually doesn't have any powers. Yeah, so my power is that I'm like stronger than Goku and can turn Super Saiyan 8 and my punches explode galaxy. See what I mean? Dude, you can't just do that to people. But yeah, he eventually works out that Will is not kidding about being powerless. Uh-oh. That whole sidekick hero thing seems like a pretty fun system, actually. I kind of want to try it myself. Hang on, I have an idea. Paper Plane, what is your power?
My power is that I make Transformers videos for my channel, Paper Plane.
Hero!
My power is I can extend the length of my penis.
Hero!
My power is creating trash, ranging from trash tier wifeful to suicidal thoughts.
Lex's power is that he can be deafened and muted at the same time.
My superpower is growth.
Wait, so you can just make any part of it?
Hell yeah, buddy.
Sidekick!
My special super ability is I can distract the enemy with comedy. Would you like to? I've brought some material. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7 was considered a registered enemy of the state and a known terrorist. Why didn't the skeleton ask out his crush? Because he had no guts. Why didn't the man wake up in the morning? Because he had no guts.
I think I'm gonna need to think about that one. I think that power is like can be weaponized in a very dangerous manner.
I have the power of God and hentai on my side.
That doesn't tell me what that does.
I have the power to make people spontaneously cry and doubt their life choices right in front of them. Let me explain. Adam, Aqua will never be real, and even if she was real, she will never love you.
Aqua shit.
Okay, Ben, what's your power? George, I'm not gonna lie, you made me cry. So it worked, therefore it's very effective. Therefore, hero!
My power is to spontaneously gain clout by following me on Twitter at Nebby.
Just thinking about that one real quick. Sidekick!
Do you think Sky High gets school shooters?
Anyway, where were we? The nurse explains to Will that he might be a late bloomer, meaning that he won't get his powers until the big dramatic finale of the movie. She cites the bus driver we met earlier, Ron Wilson, as an example of this. How dare you say that? Ron has powers in his own special way. Upon his return home, Will's dad shows him his secret hideout, because he somehow still doesn't know his son hasn't developed his powers despite raising him from birth. How does that even work? He calls it the secret sanctum, which sounds like a horrible euphemism.
Your grandfather finally trusted me enough to give me the key to his secret sanctum.
Ah, stop it! He shows him around the place where he keeps souvenirs from previous battles. I am sure nothing here will become important to the plot later on. The next day is when classes begin.
My name is All-American Boy.
Oh, hell yes!
Greetings, Little Misfire in the Mad Science Lab. No need to panic.
You know, I was kidding before about the Megamind guy, but oh my god. Yeah, I can't blame him, that'd be my reaction too. At lunch, the bullies trip Will, so he falls on the edgy Taylor Lautner, and so here we go with the unavoidable cafeteria fight scene. That's another one off the list.
Mr. Boy, do something!
I'm on it.
I really do have to appreciate how they captured an authentic high school environment in that everyone is just standing around and watching one of their peers die. Thanks to all of the amazing help of his classmates, Will does his best to fight Warren off, and just like that, he unlocks his super strength. And then they both end up in detention. Of course. So, wait, let me just make sure I'm understanding the plot here. In a world full of superheroes, our main character has no powers, and his mentor is the best hero in that world. He goes to hero school in spite of this, and eventually develops super strength. Is this a live-action My Hero Academia movie? Well, at least it doesn't have that piece of shit Bakugo in it. Oh, wait a minute! When Will gets home, his parents are more concerned with the fact that he had the audacity to defend himself so he didn't die, instead of him now conveniently having powers. Well, his mom is anyway. His dad...
I took away your Xbox. But I don't have an Xbox. Are you sure?
Oh, God, I wish that were me. Will then gets transferred into the hero class for having powers that are actually useful, though that means being away from his friends. Luckily for him, his partner in the new class is very conveniently Gwen. Well, that worked out well.
Come on. Come on. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Feet 2 steps on my foot.
Are they gonna play that every time? And we learn that she has the power of cheating. Unfortunately for her, though, their teacher's giant, disgusting head isn't just for show.
You're far too modest, Mr. Stronghold. Miss Grayson, in the future, please allow the students to succeed or fail on their own.
That was only a warning shot. Next time it shall be you. I don't know why they allow me to work here. Within a very short period of time, Will has already converted to the cool kids group, and that means he doesn't need those lame sidekicks anymore.
Oh, hey. Come on. Not so tough when my boys around, are you?
Jesus, these guys are such assholes to everyone for no reason. So Will, instead of, you know, doing the reasonable thing like telling one of the teachers or dropping them off the side of the school, instead makes a bet with them in their next PE class. And if they win, the two have to stop bullying Will's friends. Yeah, but that's totally gonna work. PE class is their Save the Citizen exercise, where a team of 2 plays the heroes trying to rescue a prop, and the others the villains who try to stop them. The bullies choose Will and Warren to team up, and just like that, their goal is more or less just to beat the shit out of each other. Damn, I wish my PE classes were more like that instead of just being bullied by the kids who get more than 30 seconds of exercise in a day. They manage to win after Will does literally all of the work. Good thing he's got super strength, otherwise his back might hurt from all that team carrying he's doing. When he gets home, Gwen is there for them to do some... homework. Because Will is doing it means he had to stand up Layla, the plant girl, as they had organized a dinner earlier at school. As she's waiting, she is served by none other than Warren, who turns out to actually be a pretty cool guy when he's not trying to burn students to death. I love this scene though, it really characterizes Warren and makes him more than just a generic bully character, because this movie has plenty of that.
You know what I think? To let true love remain unspoken is the quickest route to a heavy heart.
That is really deep.
And your lucky numbers are 4, 16, 5, and 49.
He listens to Layla talk about how she's in love with Will despite him completely forgetting about her that night. Funny how that works. Speaking of Will, let's see what he's up to.
I don't usually hang out all night with my mom and dad.
And here we go again with that goddamn music. As Will walks her home, Gwen mentions how she invited his parents to the upcoming homecoming dance as guests of honor, and that she also doesn't have a date.
Now if I could only find someone to go with.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. Good night. After her conversation with Warren, Layla works up the courage to ask Will if he wants to go with her, instead of just asking the guy who did not, in fact, completely forget he organized dinner with her.
It's about homecoming.
Really? Me too.
I'm going with Gwen Grayson, the most amazing girl at Sky High.
That's awesome.
Okay, so plan B, she's inviting the hot fire guy instead.
Warren, you are crazy.
Yeah, that'll show him. Gwen tricks Will into throwing a party at his parents' house and then asks if the two of them can go somewhere quiet. So of course, he takes her to the sanctum. God damn it, Will, you had one job. I mean, who can resist the classic line, "Hey girl, you wanna come into my secret sanctum?" Layla overhears the party and shows up only to get roasted to oblivion by Gwen. And when Will finds out, he breaks it off with her and says he's not coming to the dance anymore.
Whoa. Let's get something straight, okay? You do not dump me.
Sorry, Gwen. I just did.
Ooh, gonna need some super burn healing superpowers for that. Super burn. So now it's time for homecoming.
Hey, you wanna dance?
No.
Me neither.
And Will decides he's still not going. Also, yeah, take that, Spider-Man. Sky High did the homecoming superhero thing first. But then, after conveniently looking at the school yearbook, Will discovers Gwen used to be in his dad's class, and is the owner of one of the weapons in the sanctum called the pacifier, which is now missing. Which means he'll have to make it to homecoming after all.
And to mark this occasion, we planned a special tribute to the most powerful super being ever to walk the halls of Sky High. Me!
Well, that went from 0 to 100 real quick. Gwen reveals her evil plan to the homecoming attendees and turns into her supervillain alter ego, Royal Pain, who looks like a Power Rangers villain, or that one Fortnite skin. Then she turns the commander into a baby. Oh, so that's why it's called the pacifier. Hey, that's clever. Jetstream follows soon after because apparently this is the most complicated threat these two have ever had to deal with. And the rest of everyone who isn't a main character is next. Oh god, not All-American Boy!
What did I miss?
Will manages to make it to school thanks to the best bus driver in the world and meets up with his friends to make amends, and it's all cute and stuff.
In case my homecoming date ends up killing me tonight, I just want you to know.
Well, that's one thing My Hero Academia didn't steal. The final fight commences between the bullies and the sidekicks, while Will prepares to do battle with Gwen as she ships out the babies she turned people into, so that she can, if I am understanding her plan right, create her own villain school where she will raise the babies into becoming bad guys. I think that has to be the best villain evil scheme in any movie ever made. I do love the hell out of this final act though. It's the perfect blend of silly and, dare I say, epic. There's just nothing an angelic choir can't make cool. It's then revealed that Royal Pain is planning to drop the school out of the air, so the sidekicks make a plan to stop it.
And I'm Ron Wilson, bus driver.
Yeah, get him, Ron!
Help!
Oh, well done, guys. See, this is why you'll never be heroes.
Surprise? So am I. You're flying?
Aha! Yep, you can fly now. Totally called it. In spite of the sidekick's effort, she drops the school anyway. So once again, Will has to do all the work as he uses both his newfound powers to stop it from hitting this random guy's house.
Oh, that could have been messy.
Now all that's left is dealing with the copious amounts of babies.
Perhaps I can be of assistance. Would you please carry me to the mad science lab?
Ah, that's the most cursed thing I've ever seen. With the help of Baby Megamind, they undo the effects of Royal Pain's pacifier, turn everyone back to normal, and get back to dancing as if nothing happened and all ends happily ever after. Yay! Sky High is super good. Oh god damn it, that wasn't meant to be a pun. The movie never received any follow-up despite being relatively successful at the box office, I guess. But there was in fact a sequel plan that would have been called Save You, as in Save University. Well, great, now I'm sad. I'm not quite sure why they cancelled it, but maybe it was just because Zoom came out a year after and it was just... Somebody ring the dingster! So I've looked at some of our good pal Robert Rodriguez's kids films before, with classics like Shark Boy and Lava Girl,
He ruined my trip!
and Shorts.
Booger's warm.
But now it's time to cover perhaps his greatest work to date, Spy Kids 3D, Game Over. I've been meaning to watch this one on here for ages. It is so good. I haven't seen Spy Kids 1 or 2 in like 20 years, but I don't think you really need to enjoy this masterpiece. All I remember is something about thumbs. Spy Kids 3 has a stacked cast. Like, did Robert just use all of the blackmail he collected on everyone he knows all at once? Sylvester Stallone, George Clooney, and Boots from the Dora movie. I am so excited for this. Junie Cortez starts us off by explaining through narration that he's now a private detective, having since retired from the secret agent business, likely from the trauma caused by being exposed to these things. He now goes about saving up money to get his hands on the biggest virtual reality game in history, Game Over, which sounds like a very counterproductive name for a video game, but hey, whatever.
Game Over, the biggest video game to ever be created, period.
Hey, I gotta respect that level of confidence. I have to say though, for the supposed greatest video game of all time, this is a surprisingly underwhelming amount of people. If anything, it looks more like a Starbucks opening in the morning.
What you doing?
I love that you're just meant to accept all these things that they throw at you without thinking about it too hard. Like, you see that? Yeah, okay.
Hello, Junie.
Mr. President,
Speaking of,
Now it's time for you to be a big boy and reinstate.
with all due respect, sir,
No.
I don't know how Junie walks around with those massive balls of his. All it takes for this very dumb plot point to be resolved, though, is for Junie to have a personal stake in the matter.
Your sister's missing.
And just like that, he heads straight back to work.
Taking Agent Cortez to games.
Hey, wait a minute.
What do you know about a video game called Game Over?
On the V-Box 720. Both Junie and the audience are given an extremely basic rundown on the game, which basically boils down to...
Once plugged into the game, parents won't even be able to get their children's attention.
Ah, so a normal game then. And it was made by some guy named the Toy Maker, who wants to rule the world or something, because of course he does, and Junie's sister Carmen got stuck inside the game after trying to stop him. This has to be the most subtle inclusion of 3D I've ever seen in a movie. Yeah, so I forgot to mention, if the title didn't make it obvious enough, the major selling point of this movie was its use of 3D, but since it's not 2005 anymore, the copy of the movie I'm watching isn't, thank you Netflix, which means I have to watch it the way it was not intended, the lame, normal version. Boo! And now that he's all set, yep, it's gamer time. Just over 10 minutes into this and we're already in the game. The game over. You see what I mean? It just doesn't work. Hey, did you guys know this is a 3D movie yet? Yeah, me too, buddy.
How is he?
Yeah, well, he's been in there less than 5 minutes and he's already killed himself, so here Junie has his life counter explained to him as if anyone who has ever even heard of the concept of video games needs that explained.
What happens when it hits 0?
Game over. When you run out of life, you lose. No replays, no restarts.
This game kind of sucks, to be honest. Hey, did you guys know this is a 3D movie yet?
Who are you? I'm Junie Cortez, ex-secret agent of the OSS.
The OSS is a secret organization that no one can know about. Hi, I'm Junie. I work for the OSS.
Person thinks he's level 5 material.
So I hear.
Uh-oh, badass alert.
Implementation of any form of hack code or cheat boost will trigger an immediate game over and permanent evac from the game.
Not a single human being on the entire planet would ever use those words like that. You cheat and you get banned. That's all you have to say. So now he's off to the moon.
Okay, Junie, we can no longer be of assistance.
What assistance?
Fucking got him! These guys explain to him that he's permitted to bring any one person from the real world into the game to help him.
Pros, superior intellect. Cons, physically disabled.
What? So, in spite of, you know, that, Junie picks his grandpa, who I assume was not informed of this whatsoever. What the fuck? Where am I? How did I get here? Is this the moon?
The Toy Maker is here?
You know him?
I've been hunting him down for 30 years, Junie.
Well, that's convenient. And then his grandpa gets a power-up that puts him in like a shitty CG suit so he can walk again. Hey, did you guys know this is a 3D movie? While his grandpa abandons him to go play with virtual butterflies, Junie finds a robot fighting arena on the moon. Saying this plot out loud is making me feel like I'm slowly losing it.
Need to get to level 2. Well, you came to the wrong place.
And it's here we're introduced to another major character in this game.
Wait a minute. Am I fighting her?
Love interest! Love interest! You know, normally I would be hyped as hell for a mech battle, but this is just the ugliest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Hi. I'm Junie.
Junie, what the fuck, bro?
Hi. I'm Demetra.
She seems nice.
Help.
Eventually, Junie decides to stop being a little bitch and fight back. Hey, did you guys know this is a 3D movie? And eventually, he wins somehow. And she just gets sucked into hell, I guess. You know what would make this movie better right now? Sylvester Stallone. And you know what would make it even better than that? 4 Sylvester Stallones.
What do we want?
Not if we control their minds.
Oh, we could, like, start the world over again and cure it of its diseases. We could begin anew.
He's really showing off his acting range here. It's a real step up from...
And the real game will begin.
Hold on to your joysticks, boys.
Excuse me?
You're the guy. I'm the who? The guy. The guy from the poster.
And apparently now there's some prophecy bullshit that some guy named The Guy will Leroy Jenkins them to victory through the final level. Although this guy, being the absolute weapon that he is, won't believe Junie unless he wins a mega race featuring... I didn't even know what those are.
Yeah, push it. It's a turbo boost.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What a fucking dick. Luckily, his grandpa finally decides to do something useful, saving Junie before he can get game ended. Also, I can't be the only one bothered by the fact that everyone else playing this game is like a super young kid, and then there's just this super old dude just here, right? Grandpa, where are you taking him? And now it's time for Junie to unleash his gamer skills.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Do you honestly think you're fucking funny? Seriously.
Shut the fuck up, you cunt!
Spectacular. Damn, boy! Oh my fucking
And after the most exhilarating race sequence ever put to film, Junie wins by crossing the finish line with something that isn't even a vehicle, but okay. So now he's won the respect of these guys, in spite of the fact that they straight up tried to kill him about 5 minutes prior. What the hell was that?
We all win. With my strength. My brains.
My cool.
Your what? So finally, they stop wasting time and make their way to level 4. And it's here they run into the programmers of the game, which are a bunch of dudes in shitty Matrix cosplay who have the ability to send them all the way back to level 1.
I don't have time for that.
But it looks like it finally paid off having an adult man in a game for children.
Let's see what you really look like, huh? Very unimpressive.
Computer nerds.
Okay, guys, you don't have to be mean about it. Junie comes across an extra life pack, and instead of using it on himself like he clearly needs because he sucks so much, he makes the ultimate Chad move and offers it to Demetra.
I don't want anything to happen to you.
I'm here for the great prize behind level 5. It'll save my family from poverty.
Wow, okay, just dump that on us right now, why don't you? Way to sour the mood.
Attention gamers!
Ah, you finally said it, as if this wasn't painful enough. So now Junie and Goggles have to fight each other, because why else would they give us this tragic backstory so suddenly? Not one to back down from a challenge, Junie bravely accepts the... Even Junie knows that's bullshit. Before he can be finished off for good, Demetra steps in to fight for him in an epic battle that lasts approximately 2 seconds. Well, that was an excellent use of a life pack.
Demetra, game over.
Okay, wait, here's the best line in the movie. Wait for it.
You never even got an email address.
Gets me every time. With that out of the way, the group is free to progress to the next level, where Carmen is supposedly being held. Ah. That was easy. So their next challenge is to cross a giant lake of lava.
What do you think, Grandpa?
Difficult.
Wow, thanks, Grandpa. Their solution is to surf across it. Where have I seen that before?
Rip that wave, Junie.
Back at the base, they're only just realizing that putting the grandpa in the game was a bad idea since he wants to beat the shit out of the toy maker. So they do the only thing they can.
We have to drown them.
In spite of them making it all this way together, it's only now that these assholes suddenly suspect Junie and turn against him.
Now you're gonna see just how fast that counter of yours can count backwards.
You have to go through me first. Game Boy.
Ow!
We all know that you're not the guy. He's not the guy. I am. And you are? I'm the guy. The real guy.
Elijah, why? What did they promise you?
Cake.
Yeah, so that's it, by the way. He's just dead. Yep.
Oops.
I never even got his email address. But then, oh my god, she's back!
Junie, who is this?
This is Demetra, my girlfriend. My friend.
Nice one, dude.
Junie, she's not real.
You're real to me!
Yeah, so it turns out Demetra is like a hologram or something, to the dismay of all the 10-year-old boys watching this.
She's the deceiver.
Wait, but then who the fuck was that then? Anyway, so Sly congratulates them on beating the game even though they didn't really do anything. And then they have to escape before they get trapped inside. And it's Demetra who makes the heroic sacrifice to stay to keep the door open. But she can't leave anyway, so I mean, really it's just a common courtesy.
Here's our email addresses. Just in case.
Terrific.
And so they finally escape the game. Except we still have like 15 minutes left, so...
There were 2 switches side by side. One switch shuts down the game, but the other releases the toy maker.
What? Why?
Who was the idiot who designed that?
Thank you! So now the Toymaker's in the real world, and Junie and Carmen go to confront him and his army of giant monkey robots.
Quick, put your glasses on. It's the only way you can see what's really happening.
Okay, but why? So Carmen's immediate response is to call in every single member of their spy family in a scene that will probably only make sense if you've seen the other 2 movies, which I have not. Hey, did you guys know this is
Incoming.
what the actual fuck is going on right now? But even that's not enough, so then they call in everyone else.
Call in everyone.
I guess these guys weren't doing anything else today and were also in the area because they all pretty much show up instantly. You got those guys from Spy Kids 1, Steve Buscemi on a flying pig.
Somebody call in a loon!
And the part that everyone knows.
Somebody ring the dingster!
Oh man, it's still funny. And then fucking Cody Banks shows up with some shit. There's one last robot on the loose, and that's the one containing the Toymaker himself. And so Grandpa uses his rocket wheelchair to confront him. What am I saying right now? But as it turns out, he just wants to say that he forgives them for the accident, and just like that, they're friends again, and everyone gets a happy ending.
It's not whether you win or lose. It's how you play the game.
Stop it! And yay, that's it! We did it! That was just as traumatizing as I remember. I was reading the trivia for this movie on IMDb out of curiosity, you know, as you do, and I feel I should share with you the fact that all of George Clooney's scenes were done in his own living room in the same afternoon, and he was definitely not wearing anything beneath what we saw. Also, most of the actors in the final scene weren't even in the same room together when they were filming, which honestly does explain why it looks how it does. It's also somehow the cheapest out of all the Spy Kids movies, budget-wise. No way to tell that, right? But I think that's just what makes... In a time before time, humans were created. There was the original with those frickin' thumb things. Spy Kids 2, which foreshadowed the existence of Spy Kids 3.
Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
And Spy Kids 3, which to date still contains one of the best characters and scenes in cinematic history. Cake. All of which were directed by Robert Rodriguez, the same director of very adult movies such as Sin City and Machete. What the hell? But perhaps his greatest achievement comes in the form of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, a much less talked about movie when compared to Spy Kids that I'm disappointed hasn't been memed to absolute shit yet. Hollywood is a very interesting place. Movies can be extremely risky investments with a lot of money being thrown around, and so it's often dangerous to do anything ambitious or really different. And in a world where making original movies aren't as well favored or as profitable as making more Fast and Furious movies, it amazes me that someone gave them $35 million to make this movie. Where did that money go? It grossed about $70 million at the box office, which apparently is not enough to warrant a sequel, even though I'm still waiting, by the way. Anyway, let's just watch the damn movie. The movie opens with a quote from one of the film's own fictional characters. What? We begin with Shark Boy's origin, which is just as incredibly stupid as you would think. The shittiest render of a storm I've ever seen tears apart the research lab where Shark Boy and his father were stationed, studying and caring for sharks. Specifically sharks, apparently, who can talk.
It's Shark Boy. Don't take a bite out of him, boys. He's a friend.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping tonight. He is then raised by them and trained in the way of the shark. That is an actual quote from the movie, yes.
Always go forward.
Ah, get away from me! This somehow makes him grow fins and gills. We're like 5 minutes into the movie and I already feel for the writers and their families. After Max meets Shark Boy, he kidnaps him and keeps him trapped within a watery prison where he will swim for his entertainment before Lava Girl just shows up one day and then they piss off. This is all revealed to be a kid named Max telling a story to his class, which explains why the origin stories make about as much sense as anything 10-year-olds come up with. And then he is bullied relentlessly. Jesus, what do the whole class just have those ready? You can tell Max is really important because he's not even on the poster.
We were supposed to tell true stories.
Okay, let me tell you about this little shit here. Linus. You know that feeling of when your headphones get caught around a door and having them nearly assassinate you? This kid is the physical embodiment of that feeling. And unfortunately for us, he is very important to this film's very deep and complex plot.
There's no such thing as Lava Girl.
Jeez, even the teacher's bullying Max over this. Linus then proceeds to roast Max in front of the entire class without the teacher intervening. Probably enjoying himself too much. Before the bell goes off. Linus. Oh wow, that's convenient. After class, Max runs into Linus and his gang with Mullet over here, holy shit. And then the most intense movie chase scene of all time begins.
I'm gonna burst your bubble, Dream Boy.
Even this kid's trying to get involved. Does Linus run like the whole playground? Is he the kingpin of the 4th grade? All he has to do is point and these kids do what he says. Linus must have their parents hostage in his basement or something. Unfortunately for Max, Linus and his gang eventually gets their hands on his dream journal after he forgets about his only weakness, his balls. Everyone in the entire movie is telling Max that he should stop dreaming about his made-up DeviantArt OCs, and so he slips into a depressed state.
The grass was dead anyway.
I wish I was the grass.
I wish I could just escape this loser world and go to Planet Jewel.
Me too, man. Me too. Also, he literally lives across the road from the school. That's incredible. And when Max returns to school, we bear witness to one of the greatest scenes in cinema history.
He ruined my dream journal! I did not! Mr. Electric, send him to the principal's office and have him expelled!
You're in my class, not the other way around. I know everything, and you know nothing.
I have no words. It's just... It's beautiful. And then suddenly, a giant tornado appears. And instead of evacuating, the teacher just bails on the kids. Yeah, this is a school we're talking about. I'm not surprised. But as it turns out, it's not just any tornado. It's a Sharknado. A Shark Boy-nado. And Lava Girl-nado. Yeah, this joke was better in my head. Shark Boy and Lava Girl appear, and they head to Planet Drool, which apparently is dying, and Max has to save it. And from here on out, this movie is like 99% green screen. I don't even know what the 1% would be. You know those weird 4D experience virtual reality things at like every fair ever? That's what this entire movie is. And yes, for those who still don't know, Shark Boy is played by Taylor Lautner of Twilight fame, which explains why they gave him a costume where it's impossible for him to tear his shirt off. We then get to meet our villain. This is my sleep paralysis demon. And then they fight! I see this face in my nightmares. And so after getting their ass whooped, they are banished to the Dream Graveyard. Most of the film from here on out is just them going around the planet and this movie meeting its 3D effects quota. See, much like Spy Kids 3D, Shark Boy and Lava Girl was heavily marketed as being a 3D movie, and it panders toward that ever so blatantly. There are so many scenes in this movie where it's just shit going towards the camera, and as someone who hasn't worn 3D glasses in about 87 years, it gets pretty obnoxious very quickly. During this sequence is also a musical number that would put even High School Musical to shame, which, yes, is what I rank musical numbers against. There's no other songs in the movie, this is just there. And man, such deep and thought-provoking lyrics. To be fair, it does sound like a 10-year-old wrote it. And then, another epic fight scene, and Shark Boy goes to frickin' berserker mode. After escaping from Mr. Electric's copy-pasted army, the trio heads to the Ice Castle to get the Crystal Heart. Yeah, that's a thing apparently. Despite like a strong majority of this movie's dialogue being exposition, I still have no idea what the hell is going on. Although, according to IMDb, the plot for this movie was concocted by the director's 7-year-old son, which explains a lot. But then Mr. Electric appears and freaking kills them. And we meet the real villain of the movie.
Much
God.
cooler.
God damn it. This is Minus.
Much
appears and freaking God.
cooler.
God damn it. This is Minus. He reminds me of someone. Our heroes are too weak. Minus is just too cool. They get captured and it looks like all hope is lost. Until, hey Shark Boy, come over. My parents aren't home. I can't, I'm trapped in this cage. But he ruined my dream journey. They steal back the dream journal after escaping until Lava Girl immediately destroys it. God damn it. To do that though, they had to come across a sleeping Minus. Couldn't you just... I mean, his neck's like right there. Just give it a little snap, please. Just kill him. Then they try and fail to get the Crystal Heart. And Lava Girl, well, nothing of importance was lost. Then they meet the Ice Princess, one of the girls in Max's class, who just gives them the heart. And then they use it to go and fight the darkness. Well, that was easy. But Lava Girl's still frozen. How are they gonna... Oh, yeah, okay, that works too.
Watts? You know, watts. As in a measure of electrical power. Watts?
To all the amateur filmmakers out there, your cool idea will never get made. But this did. This did. And then Shark Boy dies.
Can he survive down there?